Hey guys, King of Charmanders here, and today I bring to you the best Ice Elemental meta builds. All weapon types, dancing in the Tempest. So this video again covers the best builds for the Ice Elemental weapons, and these builds are current as of the Dancing in the Tempest update. In this video we will take into consideration all Ice Elemental monster types as well. Alright, first we're going to start out with the melee weapons, and here we compare all the current Ice Elemental monster weapon types in the game. We have Kushala Daora, Legiana, and Bariath. And this assumes maxed out weapons at grade 10.5. So Kushala Daora weapons of course are the strongest because they're Elder Dragon weapons, and as of right now they're the only current Elder Dragon ice weapons. The Legiana weapons are very close and are the perfect budget weapon. So as you see right here for damage wise, 7% is kind of a lot if you consider an entire battle, but at the same time you don't have to hunt Elder Dragons to max out Legiana weapons at 10.5. And at dead last for melee we have Bariath weapons, which give you an affinity boost, but overall their base damage is still too low at max for it to matter a lot. 7 per 2600 to 28, even with affinity, is pretty low. Even if you do a full build, there's a lot of other things to consider when it comes to Bariath, so I'll go over that later in the video. And we're going to move on to the best melee builds, starting out with the first one. The best ice melee build at number 1 with ice attack level 5. So the build provides the max level of ice attack, which is level 5, and it works for all grade levels. And this build can be used even at grade 10.5 max. If you don't want to switch anything for a mere difference in attack as far as damage overall, you can use this one. And Coral Puke Puke Helmet provides lock-on, while Weakness Exploit level 2 will give you 20% affinity when you're attacking weak spots. In addition, you get Kushala Frostwind level 1, which provides extra ice elemental attack power. To use this build, you need the Coral Puke Puke Helmet at grade 8, the Bariath Mail at grade 6, the Bariath Fan Braces at grade 6, the Legiana Coil at grade 6, and the Kushala Daora Greaves at grade 8. Now here's a big asterisk about the grade 8 for Kushala Daora Greaves. You only actually need them at grade 6, but if you're going to invest in a piece of Kushala gear anyways, you might as well just get it to grade 8. But before we move on to the second one, here's a damage comparison. We have Ice Attack level 5 versus Bubbly Dance / Resuscitate level 3. And as you see here, Bubbly Dance / Resuscitate level 3 barely beats Elemental Attack level 5. A 1.65% in difference. It's super small. In addition, if you look at it, if you round that up, that's less than 2%. And here's an important thing to note. Even at lower levels, Ice Attack level 5 is the meta. We see at the bottom right here, that's a humongous difference, assuming a Kushala weapon at 6.1. As you see, clearly Ice Attack level 5 is the meta. More ice damage beats out more percentages at lower levels. So you're going to be using this for a majority of your journey anyways. In fact, Bubbly Dance and Resuscitate level 3 will only overtake Ice Attack level 5 at grade 10.2 to 10.5. So only literally at the highest levels will Bubbly Dance overtake Ice Attack level 5. And it also requires you to dodge and get used to moving under Bubble Blight status. So you have to mess up your mechanics and adapt to new mechanics when something meta is probably coming out in the future later. And you're just going to be like, wow, when you go back to it, you're going to be like, I'm not used to performing against monsters using regular dodges, and it actually made you worse using Resuscitate. So yeah, use at your own risk. Now here's the thing, both of these have a huge caveat. The best ice attack builds require Kushala armor piece, so it can be expensive even if you aren't building it to grade 8. Elder Dragon interceptions aren't easy, so if you're trying to get all those materials to even forge it at grade 6, because it starts at grade 6, it might take you a bit depending on how lucky your drops are. And here's the build I was talking about. So we have Bubbly Dance and Resuscitate level 3, which is the best ice melee build at number 2. So this uses the Bubbly Dance mechanic, and this build only overtakes the best build number 1 at grades 10.2 to 10.5, so only at late game levels. And this build gives 20% damage while you have Bubble Blight active. So you have to roll 3 times, dodge 3 times, and bam, you can activate Bubble Blight, and then you have to adapt to moving around in a slippery state. Coral Puke Puke Helm provides lock-on, and Weakness Exploit level 3 provides 30% affinity when attacking weak spots. To use this build, you need the Coral Puke helmet at grade 8, the Resuscitate mail at grade 6, Resuscitate vambraces at grade 6, the Kushala Daora coil at grade 6. If you're gonna make one, you might as well make it a grade 8 to where you get windproof level 1, but it's up to you. And the Resuscitate greaves at grade 6. Now that we covered melee, we move on to ranged. Starting off with the Ice Light Bowgun damage comparisons. So we're gonna compare the damage of all the current Ice Elemental Light Bowguns. Now as we see per the data, Barrier weapons have the higher theoretical DPS versus Kushala weapons. This is due to the unique ammo set that the Barrier Light Bowgun has. Now that doesn't mean the Kushala Light Bowgun is bad. It is still viable if you don't want to use Barrier Light Bowgun spread ammo, and there's more caveats to the Barrier Light Bowgun anyways, and we're gonna go over that shortly. So here's what I'm talking about. Here we have the Ice Light Bowgun Ammo Set comparisons. So here's the ammo of all the Light Bowguns. Now as we see here, Kushala has the best ammo set out of all the Light Bowguns. It also has low recoil with pierce ammo when recoil level 3 is maxed out. So as you see right here, for freeze and piercing, it has low recoil. It also has the best type as far as range, as far as its own ammo set, because you can actually stay outside of range the entire time instead of having to keep going back and forth, up close and personal, and then going backwards a little bit to maximize pierce damage. The Barrier does more damage and has Evade Extender level 1, which gives you more movement range for its equipment skill, but it has high recoil. Even if you lowered it with the recoil down at level 3, it's still average. So you have to deal with the fact that your spread and pierce ammo only has 3 shots. So you're going to have 3 shots for both of yours, and you're going to be reloading and recoiling a lot. So although theoretically it does do more damage, it's a lot less user-friendly than the Kushala Daora Light Bowgun, and you're going to have to constantly move in and out of range, which can be super annoying. In addition, for the Light Bowguns, Legiana works as a budget option, but spread ammo forces you to move around a lot for maximum damage, because you have to play with the range a lot. So it can be really annoying for you to just go in, and then you have to dodge backwards, and then start firing again, so it can be really annoying. Spread ammo can also leave you open to close range attacks and attacks with large hitboxes like Devil Joe and Bambro's tail attacks. So you're gonna go and blast it with spread, and then when you go backwards, guess what? You're gonna get hit with an attack. Now I'm not saying everything that's weak to ice is going to have a high hitbox, but it's safe to assume that monsters in the future are going to be weak to this, and something like Radobon, which in fact does have a huge tail and hitbox anyways, is going to be really annoying for you to dodge, especially with spread ice ammo with light bowguns. And this moves us on to the best Ice Light Bowgun build, which is Burst level 2, Weakness Exploit level 2, Recoil down level 3, and Reload Speed level 3. So this build maxes Recoil down level 3 and Reload Speed for maximum Light Bowgun damage per second, or DPS for short. Now the Light Bowgun is weird. The thing is, Burst level 2 and Weakness level 2, the reason why it gives you good damage is because it provides additional attack power and 20% affinity when attacking weak spots. So this is just the weird nature of Light Bowgun again, because where some builds use Burst versus its own elemental attack, because Light Bowgun requires a minimum of 3 pieces of gear to max recoil down and reload speed. The thing is, you can't get Ice Attack level 4, unfortunately, as of right now, with Light Bowgun. Some other elements, like Water, you can. For Fire, that has the biggest advantage because you get the 5, as well as, I think, Thunder can get to level 4 as well. So, that's the weird place that Ice is put in. But the good thing about this is that Coral Puke helmet and Rathian vambraces, they do flex for other melee builds, etc. So it's not like you're wasting your materials for anything. To use this build, you need the Coral Puke at grade 8, the Palu mail at grade 6, Rathian vambraces at grade 6, the Coral Puke coil at grade 6, and the Azure Rathalos greaves at grade 6. And last but not least, we have the second of the current ranged weapons in the games, which is the bow. And here's the ice bow damage comparisons. So we're comparing the damage of all ice elemental bows, and it's pretty nuts. So we're gonna also compare the 2 top builds, which is Kushala Frostwind level 3 and Elemental Attack level 4, along with Focus 5. So we're doing 2 different builds and comparisons, just to cover everything. And at 10.1, the Kushala Frostwind level 3 build overtakes the Elemental Attack level 4 build. So when you get to 10.1, that's when the Kushala level 3 one again will overtake Elemental Attack level 4. And here's the thing, the caveat with the Frostwind level 3 build, at level 3, in order to get at level 3, it requires 3 pieces of Kushala. So if you're going to get to that, you need to have 3 armor pieces from an Elder Dragon, which is expensive and can be really daunting. And the thing is, as you see with the data, the damage is a huge difference, although you lose out on Part Breaker level 1 and other skills if you don't have them at grade 8, and Elemental Attack level 4 works just fine. So if you don't want to go after expensive Kushala gear, you don't want the best or can't go after the best, then Elemental Attack level 4 and Focus 5 is perfectly fine if you want to use that. But before we go into the builds, here are the shot types for the ice bows. So we're going to compare all the shot types for all the current ice bows in the game. And Kushala bow is a super weapon that has spread level 4 at charge level 3, which is 2 blinks. So of course it's going to be the strongest. It's kind of unfair, but super weapons are just going to blast and beat out the rest of its counterparts. So what we're really looking at here is Barrieth and Legiana. Barrieth has spread level 4 and the affinity bonus, but it might not be worth it with the fact that it isn't currently on the field and only in Hunt-a-thons. You also can't move in and out of range as fast as Kushala bow because Kushala has that special charge and shot type while Barrieth doesn't. Barrieth needs charge level 4 requiring 3 blinks, so you need that max charge in order to do max damage. And it's the same thing with Legiana. But Legiana is the best budget option, and although Rapid is the weakest shot type and the most accurate, you can find Legiana out on the field at all times. And now we move on to the ice bow builds, starting with number 1, which we have the Focus level 5 and Kushala Frostwind level 3 build. Best build number 1 uses Focus level 5, which maxes out your ability to charge quickly. And this build uses Kushala Frostwind maxed out at level 3 to provide increased ice element damage and reduces wind pressure from large monsters and elder dragons. It also has weakness exploit level 1 to provide 20% extra damage when attacking monsters' weak spots. With evaded extender level 1, as it's an amazing movement skill that works well to move you in range of spread and out of monster attacks. And finally, you have Part Breaker level 1, which is great for stunning and breaking monster parts for extra rewards. Now, the thing is, in order to have Evade Extender, you need it at grade 8. If you're gonna go after this super expensive build, you might as well have all pieces at grade 8 anyways. To use this build, you need the Azarathos helmet at grade 6, the Kushala Daora mail at grade 6, but again, grade 8 if you want to max it, because you're gonna use it anyways. The Kushala Daora Vambraces at grade 8, as you need grade 8 to have Evade Extender level 1. The Kushala Daora Coil at grade 6, but again grade 8, since you're gonna go after Kushala anyways. And the Gyrototus Greaves at grade 6. Up next, we have the second build, which is the best Ice Bow build at number 2, with Focus level 5 and Ice Attack level 4. Of course, you need Focus level 5 to max out your ability to charge quickly, and we have Ice Attack level 4, which is pretty dang high. Now here's the thing, you can use the Puke mail instead of the Pinkrathi mail if you don't have it. But now that we could just smelt Dragon Attack is better because here's the thing, with Dragon Attack, you can put one Driftstone on it and then you can put another Dragon Attack Driftstone on another Devil Jewel piece, and with 2 pieces you have Dragon Attack level 5. So for those of you that were impatient and Drift Smelted into Puke, it's I told you so. And Dragon Attack is way more useful as a skill, especially eventually we're going to get a Dragon Attack Elder Dragon Bow eventually, and when that comes out, you're going to need the Pinkrathian mail. So this flexes for multiple different builds instead of the Puke one. But if you don't plan on Drift Smelting, or if you're not at that level yet, again, Puke mail is just fine. Now here's the thing, this build loses to the first one and loses many beneficial skills. But it works as a perfect budget build for players who don't have or don't want to go after the expensive Kushala armor. The thing is, if you can't do it, if you don't want to go after Kushala, that's perfectly fine. At least admit it. And if you don't want to do it, this is for you. To use this build, you need the Azarathos helmet at grade 6, the Pinkrathian mail at grade 6, the Barrieth Vambraces at grade 6, the Legiana coil at grade 6, and the Gyratotus Greaves at grade 6. Hopefully this guide helps you decide which ice element build you want to invest in. And I did not include the gun lance here because that weapon would not primarily use ice attack. So there's no reason for me to put it in here because again, you're not going to use ice attack for the gun lance. If you use it, you probably know what you're doing with it. And if you use the ice charge blade, consider the files your ice attack elemental weapon has. Impact files and weakness files don't have much of a difference, to be honest with you. Most of your damage is not going to come from file damage. So in all honesty, it's actually good that you have impact files because you can stun the monster, you have that extra stun ability, and you still do damage with impact files anyway. So it's not a humongous difference at all. And also here's the thing, impact files were always a thing in main series, so before you ask them to change it, it's always been a thing in the main series games. So they're probably not going to change it, never was a thing in main series, and yeah. But with that being said, please do me a huge favor, like, subscribe, and comment for the YouTube algorithm. Hopefully these builds do help you out. Good luck on your grinds, and I will see y'all on the next video.